Back to the Retirement Report. I'm Hank Parrott, your host. With me, my good friend, special guest, Russ Cook with Russ Cook and Associates over in Brentwood, Tennessee. And we were talking before the break about how you can, in fact, get a review of your estate plan. So usually, if you call Russ's office, and most attorneys work this way, of course, they're going to charge you a fee for that consultation, and I think it's around $400 typically. What Russ is going to do if you would like to get that review and you want to come into my office, he will waive that fee for you, so you can get that consultation. In fact, you can get two of us and no charge. So if you call my office at 615, if you'd like to get this kind of planning done, if you'd like a review of your estate planning documents, we can help you with that at 615-376-5325. Normally, with all my clients, when they come in for the first time, what we do is we send out a checklist of things to bring. So we're going to do a complete financial analysis. So we'll do an investment analysis. We'll talk to you about Social Security questions, Medicare questions, how to reduce healthcare costs in retirement. Of course, we do tax planning, so we get into tax planning with you and how to reduce your income taxes. In particular, when you're starting to take income in retirement from those retirement accounts, and you're looking at ordinary income tax rates, that can, how much money do you really have in the account? If you've got $1 million, for instance, in your 401k, and you're paying over 20% taxes on that, that's kind of just took $200,000 of your money. And if you take out big chunks of it, you might bump into higher brackets, and maybe you only have $700,000 of that $1 million that's actually going to be yours to use over your lifetime. Good tax planning can help reduce that dramatically, okay? When it comes to being tax efficient with regard to your investments and tax efficient when it comes to retirement income, we help you with that as well. So all of that is part of it. And of course, estate planning, as we're talking about this morning, you can get a review of that at the same time. Also investments, we look at your investment plan and your current portfolios, and we can stress test, do basically a stress test and show you the different reports from Morningstar and different risks that may be in there at a time when we're in the longest bull market in history. At some point, right, we know another bear market's going to happen, another recession's going to happen. How is your portfolio going to hold up? And if you're taking income from it, could it put you at risk to even run out of money or greatly reduce your assets, reducing maybe even your lifestyle later? All of that we can help you with as a part of this planning. So again, call my office, 615-376-5325. Tessa's standing by. She'll get your information, send you out a checklist of things you'll want to bring to your appointment, including, of course, your estate planning documents. And we'll do that review for you at no charge. And when you come in to see me, I'll give you a free copy of my book, 7 Steps to Financial Freedom in Retirement. All right, Russ, we were talking about the asset protection features, and this is one of those areas in particular with our children, and it's not just with that asset protection, you're creating trust within trust, testamentary trust, and another is IRA trust. And this is an area where people sometimes just make mistakes, and we've seen that where they get a form that says, hey, how do you want to, I just inherited an IRA, what do you want to do? Send me a check and I'll figure it out later. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, once they do that, they've just created a big tax problem.
Yeah, because if you take an inherited IRA and cash it out, then you're going to end up paying income tax on all the funds that you've received. And of course, that exposes those assets to your creditors now that you have them in your personal account. Also, the other thing with inherited IRAs is they don't have the same creditor protection even if you decide to keep the account going after the person that originally set it up died. You don't have the same asset protection over that account that the person that set it up did. So we've been coordinating the distribution of retirement accounts with the trust planning that we do inside of these documents to help protect not only the assets that are passing through the documents, through the revocable trust or the will, but also to protect the assets that are passing outside of those documents to beneficiaries. And we want to make sure that we do it in the right way so that these trusts we're creating for the beneficiaries are not going to increase or cause problems with additional taxes either. And so we set those up so that you're looking at the beneficiary's life expectancy as the payout, and you've got all the benefits, tax benefits with that. So it's a very powerful tool, especially with clients that have a lot of their investment assets in retirement accounts.
Yep. I mean, think about that. So you got both this asset protection, as Russ was just saying, inherited IRAs are not protected from creditors. So if your children were to get into trouble with regard to tax planning, or tax matters, I should say, so the IRS or bankruptcy, or as we mentioned earlier, divorce, any of these different personal injury lawsuits, any of the things that could cause them to have their other assets or personal assets at risk and maybe even lose everything, at least what you're leaving them can be protected for them. And when we talked about after meeting at Russ's office where you've signed your documents, right, and we're doing that funding, we're making sure that everything's set up, beneficiary designations are a really important part of that, in making sure that those designations are set up properly. Understanding this power of this trust. So you can have the trust now, you can't put your retirement account, for instance, in the trust, but you can have the trust as a beneficiary. And this can be so important in terms of the asset protection that Russ was just talking about, but without sacrificing the stretch provisions, allowing, in other words, your children to take that as a required minimum distribution lifetime, thus stretching out the tax benefits of the IRAs, of the retirement accounts, and not having to worry about, because sometimes if you don't have that done correctly, you could potentially have it happen where, one, if the child makes an error and just has them send them a check, as we were talking about, now it's fully taxable that year. But even if it's not done correctly, where it goes out to the estate, for instance, as opposed to the individual, and now we've got a 5-year payout that's required as opposed to being able to stretch it out. You take away the flexibility of tax planning for them, potentially increase in taxes dramatically in doing so. So this is why this kind of planning is so important. We're going to take another break. When we come back, I want to share another tip with you that can help you dramatically when it comes to those retirement accounts and your estate planning. But first, a break. Join us here. We'll be right back on the Retirement Report.